there's a lot to say here, and this question, even though it's a small question, it's rather packed. So I guess it mostly depends on people, on how they're introduced to the subject. That really makes a difference. So when I look back at my own personal experience, my experience with mathematics was not great, because when I was first introduced to simple things like construction of angles using compasses, or sort of the small things, just talk about division. Why are numbers divided in that specific way? Or when you think about multiplication, why when you multiply numbers, do you keep one number here and the other here, and you do all the sort of algorithmic thing? What essentially happens in school is that you're not really given the insights to what those algorithms are about, or why they're designed the way they are designed. And so that often leaves students to just cramming the information that they're given. And what leads, and from that cramming of information, what comes out is that students often mistake memory for intelligence. And mathematics is something that you can't rely on with memory. There can't be questions that are of the similar type in mathematics. Of course, in the younger ages, or in the junior classes, you're presented with similar ideas. So if you just memorize a few things, you can pass out. But if you want to go forward with mathematics, if you want to go deeper with mathematics, having that intelligence is more important. And I think the only or one of the main reasons why students don't enjoy mathematics is that they're trying to just cram up information, whereas like mathematics is completely different to that. So I'd like to give you an example here. Imagine you're trying to build a house, and you start laying out the bricks in the for the walls. And so when you're first starting, you don't know what to do. So what you're told by your instructors, your tutors, is that you put bricks here and here and here and here. And when you reach here, you start putting bricks on the other side. And you essentially start with these foundations. You don't understand what you're doing, why you're putting the blocks here in the first place. And I'm talking about blocks as an analogy for the small mathematical tools. Imagine something like the coordinate geometries. Think about equations of lines, or think about the graphs of exponential functions, or think about finding means from a sample space. So you're essentially taught how to lay these small bricks to make a foundation. But what usually happens is that you're too focused, or students are we're just too focused on that small brick that we don't really understand what the bigger picture is about. So having that outside perspective of what you're doing essentially would like help you develop that deeper understanding, and consequently a richer experience, and definitely a fun experience with learning mathematics. So what I did, so when I was struggling with mathematics throughout my year 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I was nearly failing the subject in grade 10, and things where I was hitting the very bottom of my curves. But and essentially I transitioned from that difficult phase just by starting to look at mathematics in a more fundamental way, starting to look at mathematics in a more curious way, in a more student-friendly way. What I would do essentially is that I just go and try to solve trigonometric problems. I just go there and try things out, and bunch of the times I got wrong answers, and bunch of the time I got like right answers. And slowly, once I started seeing what led me to the right answers, I started finding the right patterns to look for, and I started understanding why some things are done, why certain algorithms preferred than others, why certain derivations are done, or why certain thing is done. And slowly, along with that trying, there was a sense of play. And when I mean by play, I used to just fiddle around with equations and do all sorts of fun things, and that essentially got me interested in the subject. Along with the fact that I got introduced to a couple of wonderful mathematics channels, especially Three Blue One Brown. I highly recommend that to you, even if you're like just starting your GCSE. And I'd recommend that channel to you because that shows you what the essential beauty of mathematics is, and I think that's quite important to see as well.